The first key, stop the run. The biggest key for the Raiders defense is to stop the running game. C.J. Anderson is a very good running back and is the key to the entire Broncos offense. When he gets going like he did the first 2 weeks, the Broncos are near impossible to stop. C.J. Anderson is an excellent all-around back, and the offense goes as he goes. When you stop the running game, you make Trevor Siemian beat you. He's never going to be a franchise quarterback, but he's still very solid as a player. Consider last year. Siemian threw for almost 300 yards in the loss and just over 200 yards in the win. Put the ball in Siemian's hands. He knows he has an excellent defense to rely on and does not take many chances with the ball. This puts the offense as a whole in neutral, giving the Raiders the best chance. The second key, run the ball. On the flip side, the Raiders must establish the run game early. The Raiders' offense works best when the running game gets going. For all the talk about Derek Carr in the passing game, the running game makes it all possible. Carr works best off of play action and getting the ball out of his hands. This will force the linebackers to step up, allowing for some incompletions over the middle of the field. The Broncos have shut down Melvin Gordon, Ezekiel Elliott, and LaShawn McCoy already. The Raiders must be the first to break that streak. Another benefit, of course, Derek Carr isn't forced to test the Broncos' pass defense. As great as Cooper and Crabtree are, the no-fly zone has been dominant. Carr hasn't had success testing the Broncos before and won't have any luck this time around. The running game forces the linebackers to think run first, leaving more holes in the passing game. In the victory last year, the Raiders won because they were able to run the ball down their throats. The third key, take advantage of your tight ends. If there's such thing as a weakness in the Broncos' pass defense, it's in the middle of the field, especially against the tight ends. The linebacker core, including Brandon Marshall, is solid overall, but struggles in pass coverage. Jason Witten caught a lot of balls, but that wasn't a blowout. Charles Clay had himself quite a game last week and could be the blueprint for taking down the Broncos' pass defense. The Raiders, of course, counter with Jared Cook. Cook has been consistent and reliable for Derek Carr so far. He has elite athleticism for his size and is a walking mismatch. The corners will lock down the receivers, and Jared Cook will take advantage of it. If the Raiders are able to establish a running game, Jared Cook will have a big game. Jared Cook will be the key piece if the Raiders are going to have success through the air. Another key for the Raiders defense is to stop them on third down. A major problem last week was the Raiders' inability to get off the field. They would have third and long, and Kirk Cousins would easily find a receiver to convert the third down. The big one, of course, was the running back screen on third and very long. The Broncos don't have a Chris Thompson on their field, but C.J. Anderson is more than capable out of the backfield. This offense isn't as dynamic overall, but the Raiders must force a punt when put in third down situations. On the opposite side, the Broncos have the best third down offense percentage so far. Unfortunately, this game is at home where the Broncos have a major home field advantage. Siemian knows that with his defense, a punt isn't necessarily a bad thing. There are times he just throws it up to Demaryius Thomas and he comes down with it. Siemian isn't very talented, but he is smart. He knows who his playmakers are to get in the first down, and the Raiders must stop it. In order for the Raiders to win this game, they must contain Von Miller. This goes for everyone. Von Miller has wrecked plenty of games before and will continue to do it again. He already has 3 sacks so far and creates plenty of opportunities for his fellow pass rushers. He's also great in the run game and destroys the edge if you run in his direction. Miller is arguably the best player on defense, and the Raiders must know where he is at all times. He will have his moments, but we must limit those moments as much as possible. Normally, I'd say the Raiders' offensive line will be able to limit Miller. After the Redskins game, they must bounce back and be the line that we all know they can be. Ryan Kerrigan and his group just wrecked everything the offensive line had. Miller is in a whole other league than Kerrigan. The Raiders have the players to win one-on-one matchups everywhere else, but must put more than one body on Von Miller. For the last key, Khalil Mack must dominate. The Raiders also have arguably the best pass rusher in the NFL. Khalil Mack is off to a good start, especially in the run game. He will provide plenty of pressure and even ran over a series of blockers last game. He is a powerful player who causes plenty of disruptions in the run game as well. In fact, if I had to choose the best defensive player right now, it'd be Von Miller first with Khalil Mack right behind him. Unlike the Raiders, the Broncos' offensive line isn't nearly as great. They spent a lot of time and resources in upgrading the line, including bringing in former offensive tackle Menelik Watson. Watson's problem was never talent, it was health. He played in all 3 games so far, but the results haven't looked good. The worst game was in Week 2 against the Cowboys, where he gave up 2 sacks. He gets to take on Khalil Mack, and Mack should dominate. If Mack disrupts the game, like we all know he can, the Broncos are in for a long day.